In this parsha, we read how Yitzchak Avinu, our patriarch, was involved in digging wells. And the Torah goes into great detail to tell us how the people of Plishtim argued over the ownership of the wells. And so Yitzchak dig other wells, and the Plishtim again argued over the wells. Finally, Yitzchak digs a well, finds water, they don't argue over it, and Yitzchak has peace. But why does the Torah record the episode of Yitzchak digging wells? And how is it relevant to us? The Talmud tells us that Torah is compared to water. Just like water quenches our thirst and it rejuvenates our energy, especially when one finds himself in a desert. And the same is true with the Torah. The wisdom and inspiration of Torah satisfies the thirst of our mind and our soul, and it enlightens us with fresh perspectives and vitality. So Torah is the spiritual water for the soul. In the world we have two kinds of waters. We have the waters above the ground, the oceans, rivers, and rain, and we have the waters beneath the ground, wells and springs. But in order to get to the underground waters, one needs to toil and work very hard to dig through all the dirt and gravel until you reach the underground well. But the underground well has a purity and quality that the water above does not have. And the same is true with the spiritual waters. There are some people that were fortunate to grow up in very healthy and holy environments where the waters of Torah were available to them to grow and to be inspired. But then there are people that grew up in environments where there was no Torah and they didn't have the opportunity to study and to grow. Some people grew up in very difficult, dark circumstances, and the spiritual water and inspiration was not available for them. For those people to find their spiritual water of Torah, they need to work very hard, work through all the darkness and gravel until they achieve their water. But once they discover the depth of their soul and the waters of the Torah, so then their inspiration has a freshness and quality that the rest of us don't have. Just like the underground spring has a purity and a good taste like the waters above don't have. And the reason is because since they needed to work very hard to work through all their darkness and all the gravel in order to achieve, therefore their light is much greater. And this is the message of Yitzchak Avinu to us, that no matter the circumstances, the darkness and the difficulties one goes through, we never give up on anyone, because you need to work hard and dig and dig and dig, and if you work very hard, you will eventually discover the fountains of the living springs. Have a very good Shabbos.